All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of The Market Close. I am here with a very good friend of mine, Roy, a.k.a. Crossroads. Roy, what's up?
San Francisco, man. This is where it's at. It's pretty exciting. Always exciting time for the market. Glad I could join you for this close.
Roy, I think we're missing someone right now.
Yeah, I think Tannor may be late.
I think he might be late. And I think the reason we went live a little early is to show you guys that it's not a joke when we say this guy is late. Technically, we said 12:45. Now, I said to be in my room by 12:30, so he's already 10 minutes late for sure. If he doesn't make it in the next 5 minutes, which is like the actual time we're supposed to start.
Official Tannor is late.
I think everyone needs to understand it's not a joke. Like, this guy ends up being late.
And if Amit is ever streaming by himself and he's late, it's Tanner's fault.
It's always Tanner's freaking fault. So hopefully Tannor comes in the next 5 minutes. But we're here, San Francisco. We'll talk a lot about Robinhood going into the end of the stream. But we do have a market to analyze. Trump is live right now talking about something. We'll look at it in a second. Overall, markets, nasty dump. Tessie giving back some of their gains, down 7%. Celsius down 1%. S&P 500 down 1.2%. Grab holding on to green based on the rumors of this morning, which is nice, up 5%. But Nvidia is down 6%. Hoodie's down 8%. Palantir's down 5%. Roy, what the hell's going on?
PayPal's almost flat, so...
Roy's like, I don't care. I'm good. I'm not losing any money on PayPal.
Yeah, it's still a kangaroo market. So markets hate uncertainty, and we're having this. Basically, you can think of it as like a pendulum swinging back and forth between tariffs on and especially vicious, even on allies, to not. And it's tough for markets to really thrive in times when it's very uncertain, and really that's what we have. And so I think April 2nd, will be a good opportunity as far as to determine like at least some level of certainty. Like even if it's bad news, massive tariffs, and they stick, that's going to absolutely hurt the markets. But at some point they'll be like, okay, we've got that priced in. We understand what's happening here. We have certainty. So it's just rough though right now. We don't have that.
You know what's interesting is I thought the markets stopped caring about tariffs for the past couple of days, which they did. The reason this is happening, by the way, everybody, is because Trump announced new automotive tariffs like 2 hours ago that he's going to be announcing on Wednesday. Apparently, the markets didn't expect him to announce automotive tariffs again. But what is your reaction to the broader markets? Like, is it stupid for them to ignore tariffs for 3 days and now react to it on a random Wednesday, or do you think there's something serious here?
Yes, it's stupid. But I mean, that's what markets do, is markets almost always will overreact either way, either on the upside or the downside. This was a headline, I think this is a new headline, but I think literally 3 or 4 days ago, there was a similar headline on auto tariffs and also pharma tariffs coming in the near future as well. And the markets just kind of ignored it. And now it's like, oh, this is a real thing. And to the point, like the markets, I'll be fair there. It's tough to know what's real and what's not, simply because, we've seen Donald Trump say one moment, hey, tariffs, something gets negotiated or not. Then all of a sudden it's like, oh, no, just kidding, guys.
Yeah, I bought the dip today. I felt like it was stupid. I bought like 25 more shares of Hood. I bought 10 shares of Nvidia. But I don't know how the past 3 days we ignore, unless it was purely technical, which that could make an argument for. But did we not know he was going to do new tariffs on April 2nd? Is the specific auto tariffs the reason why everything's getting hit? I mean, Tesla, giving back 7% is reasonable, given it went up almost 25%. Nvidia, the China headline today, I thought, it is what it is. The market's going to have to figure that out. But everything else just feels like a reaction to the Nvidia downturn, and then obviously the tariff volatility that we're getting.
Yeah. Risk off
again. Let's switch over to Trump real quick. Let's see if he's saying anything of substance, or is this President Trump part? Okay, so I don't think he's going to be saying anything here. So he's speaking at 4 p.m. about tariffs. Well, let's just load it up. This is a Women's History Month event, so I don't know if he's talking about tariffs here. He might be talking about women's history, but let's see.
I said, that's right. Do your job and get out, but I promise I'll have something else for you, okay? I promise I'll have something even better for you, all right? But you're doing a job, and we appreciate it. Also, a special man. He's got a tremendous majority. It's so easy, a majority of about 1. I think he's the only man could do the job because everybody loves him. Everybody respects him. He's really smart. really, he's so nice. People say, is he smart? I said, you have no idea. He's actually, he's really.
Okay, so he's not talking about markets yet. I mean, I think when he takes questions, maybe he'll talk about tariffs, but they said at 4 p.m. he's talking about tariffs. 4 p.m. is in 15 minutes, so I don't know if it's going to be at that press conference or something else, but yeah, more and more tariffs. Let me know if anyone bought the dip today in the chat, whatever you got, everyone is thinking. Obviously, it's really annoying to see some of this volatility, but I guess we expected it over the past 3 green days to have a little bit of a pullback. Let's call Tannor live on X. Let's see if he picks up. He might be sleeping. If he fell asleep, that would be hilarious, though. If he picks up, though, it would be hilarious. I told you guys he's late. We were waiting for 20 minutes in the lobby. Remember, before breakfast for you and me. Like,
memes are memes for a reason, guys.
Memes are memes for a reason. I see a lot of bought Teslas, bought Hood. Oh, I did close some covered calls today as well. The Google covered calls, basically, I'm up like 95%.
Yeah, honestly, like that's the one silver lining is an option seller. Like this is an option seller's paradise, but it's unpleasant.
It is unpleasant because there's a lot of volatility here. All right, I'm going to text Tannor. You are late. He didn't pick up the phone call. He might have fallen asleep. You know, Tannor needs his beauty sleep, so he legit might have fell asleep. Billy Jackson paying taxes today. Roy, are you looking forward to paying taxes?
No, we're actually going to file an extension. So,
okay, that makes sense. I just paid mine a couple days ago. It was a bit aggressive. Bought some Hood and Nvidia, more AMD. About some Archer. We are not doing Tannor dirty. This is the truth, bro. He doesn't show up on time. Like, there's nothing more we can say.
He's officially late.
It's 12:46. I said 12:30. I said be here by 12:30.
Yeah, I was there at 12:25. Amit was ready at like last night,
Dude, I was ready to stream last night. I was ready to go. Okay, so we got about 13 minutes until the market closes. All right, Nvidia. Roy, so you initiated this as your position, I think, a week ago or a couple weeks ago?
Month and a half ago.
Month and a half.
Yeah.
Okay. So why are you adding to Nvidia right now?
So I didn't buy today, but I am DCAing into Nvidia simply because the AI thesis is very much intact, and Nvidia is going to be central to that. Like it's a very simple and simplistic thesis. It is like, okay, is AI real? Are they needing to continue a CapEx spend? And of course, I bought before earnings, but earnings was a confirmation of that, with all of the players in the Magnificent Seven essentially saying that they absolutely need to buy and continue to buy a massive amount of chips. Yes, there's news in China. Yes, there's news on the Amazon front. Yes, there's DeepSeek that's a little bit older. But if AI is what I think it is, and I'm like 99% confident of that, there is no way where Nvidia doesn't play a demonstrable part of this. And at least right now, if you look at its valuation, it's cheap. It's very cheap. Now, if you think in 2 years that the revenue is going to just drop off a cliff and just be stagnant, then I can see that as far as I'm concerned. But like really, that's the bear argument, is that once they do the CapEx spend, they'll stop. But historically, that has not been the case at all, especially with this nascent technologies. And the other bear case is Taiwan invasion, which I think is less and less likely as time goes on. I don't think that's happening. So you can still price like part of that risk in, but Nvidia at 113 just feels like a no-brainer to me.
Yeah, I agree. I bought a little early today at 115. We'll see how this ends up playing out. Are you afraid about the China headline today that Baba might have to buy Huawei chips, or is that kind of just like whatever?
I think that might be one of those negotiation tactics that's going the other direction. Donald Trump is certainly not the only one that's doing some measure of negotiating when it comes to the tariffs and the trade wars. And so that could be something where where China says, hey, we would love to get this negotiated as well. Not just so that they can, purchase Nvidia chips, but specifically the H100s. I believe China cited environmental reasons.
Yes.
Which
correct.
is, I mean, like, that's baloney. Like if you've been there, if you've been paying attention, yes, China is shifting a little bit more environmentally friendly. But if you rate countries that are developing rapidly on their environmental consciousness, China does not even make the cut. So it's almost 100% a negotiation tactic.
Yeah, I think it's bullshit. but I think this market's so on edge. Like, there's no way Nvidia's lawyers and team did not know China was getting ready to come up with this. Like, they obviously, in my opinion, had a plan, and they're probably going to be executing on negotiating with China pretty soon, if not already. But the headline is the headline, and that's what's causing a $145 billion decrease in Nvidia's market cap right now.
So is there anything else that I missed as far as a plausible bear thesis with Nvidia?
Cyclicality is what most people point
Yeah.
to. And I don't know. You either believe in the AI story or you don't. And like,
Yeah. I know not everybody's a believer yet, but man, it's real.
For those that are just joining, yes, Tannor is indeed late. He has not responded to my message. This guy probably fell asleep, and it's so funny that he probably fell asleep, but he needs his beauty sleep. It is what it is. So I'm sorry he's not here right now, but hopefully he wakes up in a bit. Okay, Hood down 7%. I mean, what do we do with this right here?
I mean,
is it expected based on just the volatility this morning?
Yeah, I mean, it's partly tied to Bitcoin, but really it's a risk on, risk off stock and ticker. So on days where it's risk on, it's going to pump. On days where it's risk off, it's going to get hit much more than the market. So it's not, shocking. I do think that in this range, I find it attractive. I know it was in the 30s recently. May go back into the mid 30s again. I don't know, but I bought a bunch in the mid 30s. I bought in this range, but I was also doing DCAing like when it was $60. And I know it's like, oh, that sounds crazy. It's like, well, this is a long-term play for me. I now have the allocation in Robinhood that I want to have, so I'm not DCAing anymore. But if I didn't have the position, I would keep buying.
Yeah, and we'll talk more about expectations on the gold event in a bit. But I mean, I agree. I bought a little bit more today. It's like, it is what it is. Robinhood, if the market takes a dip, Robinhood will take a dip, and you kind of just got to deal with it. Do you think anything they announced today could help the stock, or even if it does, the overall macro volatility will take it down regardless?
I mean, short term, it's going to be at the whims of macro and that volatility of the kangaroo market, which is not going to be good for Robinhood. But I mean, like, they've recently announced or rolled out futures earlier this year, which they've already said back at Investor Day, they forecast at $100 million annual run rate, that would be one of those products that they see, almost clear line of sight in direction to. Index options, of course, is doing well. I don't regard that quite as a new product because they don't break it out that way. And then the predictions market, like, it's easy to see, especially with like work that Jacob's doing on this, where as long as, situations don't change regarding regulation, but it seems that they chose Kalshi well. I'll say that's a very calculated partnership. But as long as that continues the way it is and they continue to develop and roll that out, that's an easy 9-figure annual run rate. And then I think whatever they announce here may also be a new product that they're announcing that ends up being another one of those 9-figure annual run rates within a year or two. So they just continue to build brick by brick. These are not small incremental products that don't really mean much. It's not like, oh, we got dark mode out, or we got level 1 options or something stupid like that.
Yeah,
it's a meaningful source of revenue. And of course, we saw on Investor Day the stock absolutely pumped. I don't know that we'll see that today, simply because the macro is the primary focus. But I will say there's a lot of institutional eyes on Robinhood right now. So if they're pleased with what's announced, and there's been a lot of speculation as far as what they will, I think we might see a little bit of an increase.
Yeah, I agree with all that analysis. It is literally going to come down to how the macro thinks of it. And all Robinhood can do is continue innovating and showing good stuff to the market. And then it's up to the broader macro to be on their side when it comes to trading volumes and net deposits, all that stuff. But they've just got to keep executing. We're getting into the final 7 minutes of the close. Looks like it's going to be a red day. S&P 500 being red. Roy, do you think we are still in a bull market or not?
Oh, yeah, we are, until we've seen that actual 20% correction from the top. We're not anywhere close to that. Not just correction, but 20% downside. So like 10% corrections, they're normal, they're expected, even in a bull market. And there's always, like, if this is your guys' first bull market, it's always somebody's first. It's the term is climbing the wall of worry. So there's always concerns. They're always different. But I'll give you like case in point. Do you remember the previous bull market when there was a ship stuck in the Suez Canal? Do you remember that?
There was, right? That was a headline. Yeah.
So that's one of those things where, like, at the time, people were like, oh, this is a huge deal. and it causes a lot of big issues. The market really had a rough, week and a half really from that. And now we look at that in hindsight and we're like, that's stupid. Like, why would the market tank based on that? And there's a whole bunch of those. It's not just like one little thing, but you can look back with hindsight and be like, oh, that was no big deal. And 90 to 95% of the time, it's no big deal. Now, bull markets, they climb the wall of worry. They might dip, they might correct for a little while, but they continue to climb. And at some point, the bull market will end, unless, based on tariffs actually causing recession, causing a massive, massive trade war. I see the bull market is very much intact, likely, maybe for the next 5 years. It'd be a very long bull market. That has happened before. I don't expect the gains that we saw over the last, year and a half, 2 years. But that doesn't mean that we're not in a bull market.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think earnings growth needs to really significantly decline for that bull market thesis to be gone. Someone asked, did we see a Waymo? So we did. We did not drive in it yet or have it drive us yet. But because we just haven't had to play. We're actually, all three of us are actually going to the Uber headquarters after this show because we had someone invite us out there to just get a tour of the office. So we're going to Waymo to the Uber headquarters, which is like 2 miles away, and check it out. I'm not going to lie, bro. First impression, it's amazing. It's cool. It's the future. I don't know how taxis are still in service in San Francisco with these things running around, but it's pretty ugly. It's like, is this just me? Do you think it's ugly or it's just...
It is, but for that kind of a product, like taxi, but like you're not concerned. Like if you get on a bus for public transportation or train, you're like, oh, it's ugly. Like you don't freaking care.
Yeah.
Now, as far as ownership, like if you're going to own one and buy one, that's when you would actually care. So yeah, no big deal that it's ugly. It's a cool technology. So
it's super cool. I just looked at it. I'm like, it's ugly, bro. Compared to the robo-taxi, like if Tesla is able to pull it off, like,
oh yeah. Yeah, easy.
I just feel like I'd rather want to step into a robo-taxi versus a Waymo. But it is so cool. Like we saw people like getting driven around inside of the car, and like there's no driver and there's just the wheel going back, and it is insane. So yeah, I definitely think it's really cool. They're everywhere in SF. What's your impression of SF? This is your first time here as well.
It's mixed. So you see a lot of the hustle culture, the startup culture. I mean, we see it like even in the hotel. We see it with the advertisements, like all over the place. Even inside the hotel, like there's a advertisement for Lucid of all things. You see lots of Klarna, Apple Pay type stuff. A lot of headquarters. I think Toast is headquartered here. If not, they have a major office. So that's really cool. And like, even like going to the gym, you see people like working on their laptops, having business meetings and stuff. I love that. On the other side, and I feel badly for whoever's homeless. I know there's a lot of reasons why people end up being hopeless. There's a lot of that. I saw poop on the street. It's not just a fake news type thing on San Francisco. We saw it this morning. I don't know if you guys noticed, but none of us stepped in it. Drug use in the street. I mean, I went to, ended up having to buy another shirt and went to the store, and there were more loss prevention officers working there than actual other employees. And they don't have weapons, but they have like bulletproof vests and everything. And I'm like, man, this is sad. It seems like there's still a lot of good in San Francisco.
And the weird thing is there is so much money in this city and there's so much homelessness. Yeah. And I feel like there has to be some level of a disconnect there on why that's happening. But it's aggressive. It's like on every other corner. Forget every other corner. Every other block, there's someone shooting up drugs.
So, yeah, a lot of good, a lot of sadness as well. So,
yeah. I agree. My first impression is that it's cool, but I'd still rather live in New York. I would still rather live in New York. Also, I'm not 5'2", okay? I'm 5'7", 5'8" on a good day. So Jason spreading this propaganda about my height is not appreciated.
And the bricks are real.
And the bricks are real. The curtains are real as well. You're 6'1", 5'10"?
I'm 5'11". So,
okay,
yeah.
You're basically 6 feet. You're good.
Yeah.
All right, Roy. We got about a minute left until the market closes. You're going to be doing the honor. You just hold it like this and you ring. So I'll let you know when to ring the bell. It was a crappy day in the markets. It sucks that look, Robinhood can't control what's happening with the market. Obviously, if the market was up, it would be nicer because their event would be happening. You would see a little bit more of a kind of potential rally in the stock. But I think if you're a long-term investor on Hood and not just trading it, the things they're going to announce today is quite frankly all I care about. And I think same for you.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Long-term, like short-term, the stock can do anything. Long-term, as long as the company is building and building well, like it's pretty easy to see the direction, even if we can't guess it over the next week.
Yeah. And I think the stuff they announced today, I really don't care what if they announce some cool stuff and the stocks dip further. I mean, quite frankly, it's like, all right, if they are going to continue to dominate, then if we get a cheaper price, I would not hate that.
And I do like seeing a little bit of a rally into the close.
100%. Yeah, we are getting a little. I mean, Tesla was at 266, now 272. So you are seeing some buyers step in these last couple minutes. All right, here we go. Wednesday, March 26th, 4 p.m., aka 1 p.m. on the West Coast. The stock market is now closed. Boom, baby. Stock market's closed, unfortunately, without Tannor. I texted him again. He's hopefully, to his credit, though, he said he was feeling a little sick last night. So,
and it's San Francisco, so he's probably working on a startup or something, you know.
He's probably working on a startup, probably a little sick. It was funny, though. He was like, yeah, I think the water I drank got me sick. I was like, shut the fuck up, Tannor. Fucking water. Like, it's just like Tannor loves to complain about every little thing. And I love listening to him to complain because I'm like, these are very interesting complaints that he has. But yeah, he'll see this when he wakes up. Anyway, all right. Market is now closed. We will see when Trump talks at 4 p.m. I still think he's at the women's history event thing. So we'll see, and we'll pull that up if he is talking there. This is a couple of clips of what happened today from the press secretary, and then we'll keep going from there.
Since Inauguration Day, President Trump has secured trillions of dollars in private and foreign investments. Every single day, more money is pouring into our country, which will create more jobs for hardworking Americans. Today, Schneider Electric pledged to invest more than $700 million in the United States to boost American energy infrastructure and AI. On Monday, Hyundai announced a $20 billion investment in the United States, including $5.8 billion for a new steel plant in Louisiana, which will create nearly 1,500 high-paying jobs. President Trump is truly turning America back into a manufacturing superpower.
Okay, so that was said a little bit earlier in the day, and so Trump's going to be speaking theoretically, I mean, supposedly later about tariffs and some more of this investment stuff. So we'll see if that's live and what he ends up saying. Tesla going a little bit green after hours. We had Tesla closed down about 6% of the day. JP Morgan was down 0.03%. Nubank was down 4% of the day. PayPal was down 1.2%. S&P 500 down 1.18%. Palantir down 4% on the day. You had Coca-Cola was up 1.77%. That one actually did well. Again, Tesla down 5%. Robinhood ended the day down 7%. SPX down 1.12%. TLT down 0.66%. Not only did stocks go down, yields went up, which is not what we want to see, but that's what happened today. CrowdStrike right here down 3%, Roblox down 2.6%. All the quantum names took a nice 6 to 7% haircut today. Rigetti was down about 6.5%. MicroStrategy down 3.6%. Google was down 3.2%, was at 172. Now it's at 165. And then Bitcoin back down to $86,700. You guys are saying Trump is live. I'll go to him, but I don't think he's speaking about tariffs. I think he's speaking about Women's History Month. So let's go to him and we'll see what he's saying.
I've been called much worse. Actually, I like it, right? I like it. Thank you. We're joined today by many of the women members of the House and Senate.
Yeah, it's I don't know when he's supposedly talking about tariffs because the market will be listening to that. But right now he's talking about Women's History Month, not tariffs. So until that happens, or even if that happens, Roy and I will stick around. We'll answer some questions. I have some topics for Roy that I want to get his thoughts on, and then we'll end out from there. Maybe Tannor joins, maybe he doesn't. Bitcoin. Are you bullish right now, Bitcoin?
Yeah, long term. I do think crypto winter is probably going to come later this year or early next year. It's one of those that it feels inevitable. You know, we had a discussion just, privately talking about that and why it needs to be. And part of it is it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. But I mean, ultimately, when people go risk off for a long period of time, that tends to be that winter season. I don't think it'll be as big of a drawdown perhaps as times in the past. But yeah, the only thing now that I've hit my over 10% allocation in a couple of stocks that I'm DCAing into right now is Nvidia and Bitcoin. And I'm buying every 2 weeks on Bitcoin, same amount. So Bitcoin goes down, I buy more. If it goes up, I buy less. And that is not At least for me, it's more of a hedge than anything else. Crypto is just a small part of my portfolio. It's like 3% maybe. So I need to get that up at least to 5%. So that'll take a while unless all the stocks get nuked and my Bitcoin remains. But no, I absolutely am. Are you buying, adding, or do you even own Bitcoin? Or are you derivatives?
Very little.
Okay.
It's just Hood for me.
Yeah,
Hood is that's my favorite way to get access to Bitcoin. But obviously, it affects Bitcoin a lot, or crypto, Robinhood a lot. So
now, if you had won that contest, that gave you that free Bitcoin, would you be holding that Bitcoin, or would you sell it?
Probably sold it.
Okay.
I just don't care about. I can't sell calls against my. Like I'll probably, whenever I start DCing into IBIT, then I'll establish like a Bitcoin position.
Yeah.
I don't hate crypto. Crypto makes Robinhood a lot of money. I love crypto. I love when a lot of people trade crypto. I just don't care that much about it. But I will get into IBIT and start selling calls against it. I just like selling calls against Robinhood. Premiums are still pretty damn good as well.
Juicy.
Okay, if you guys have any questions for Roy and I, you can put them in the chat. I have a couple other topics as well. In terms of the broader market, nothing's really happening right now after hours. We had a crappy close of the day. I mean, if Trump talks about tariffs, I'll get the headlines popping up, but I don't know until he starts answering questions at this event. But we'll see if he actually ends up doing that. Okay, this was a really good topic. Real quick, I want to cover OpenAI. So they just came out today. Revenue is tripling to 12.7 billion this year. That's a 300% increase, and they expect a doubling of that to 29 billion in 2026. But they don't expect to be profitable until 2029, at least on a free cash flow basis, when they're projecting 125 billion in revenue. Is this why OpenAI is getting the VC funding that they're getting, because they're just going to get so much gross revenue and they'll eventually figure out profitability?
Yeah, I think it's one of those. I don't personally believe in it. I wouldn't be investing in it. I think it's a commodity and it's a mistake for some of those that are investing, but I could be wrong. But I think it's the same mindset of like what Alex Karp had with AIP, that, hey, we're going to scale this product. We're going to take the whole market and we're going to figure out then how to monetize. So if OpenAI thinks that they can actually do that, that they can have differentiation between themselves and the other models as well, and that the other players cannot compete, it's the absolute right thing to do, and then focus on profitability a little bit later. It's the Amazon play, right? But I don't personally believe in that. I do think that, at least for myself, ChatGPT is the best out there. A lot of it is just because I've used it. It knows me well. But I mean, Grok is really good. Gemini is surprisingly good. It always surprises me when I use it. I don't use it often. I'm like, it's actually really nice. DeepSeek, I've played with it just a tiny bit, but
which makes you question why OpenAI is going to be the winner out of
it feels like Sam Altman, and I don't know if it's coming from him. I know it's from his team. That he is a little bit rosy when it comes to projections and guidance and everything. So I don't believe in it. I just don't. It's a commodity.
All right. So transitioning from OpenAI to one of the most interesting headlines we got, baby. GameStop down 7% because what do they do?
Yeah.
1.3 billion in convertible debt. GameStop expects to use the net proceeds from the offering for general corporate purposes, including the acquisition of Bitcoin in a manner consistent with GameStop's investment policy.
Yeah, they're buying Bitcoin. Like that's what it is.
So hold on. Does this mean they just diluted shareholders by 1.3 billion?
Yes, and they're buying Bitcoin with it. It's basically going to become a mini master strategy. Or MicroStrategy, if you like that, that's the strategy of what GameStop's doing.
But they already have 4 billion in cash. Why are they raising $1 billion?
Because they're going to buy a lot of the dip, I think. Well, I think part of it is, so Ryan Cohen was authorized by the board to actually kind of work a mini ETF and actually invest in a lot of different things. And now, obviously, Bitcoin is a big part of that. So I think that maybe they don't want to dip into that. That's one of those things that is keeping them profitable. Simply the interest that they're making off of it, investments, like the stores themselves, that business model, it's not dead, but it's dying. And so if they ended up taking most of that money and rapidly deployed it in Bitcoin, all of a sudden they would be unprofitable again. The stock would get a tremendous hit. Right. And so I think that they'd rather do this and dilute people and take a page out of Michael Saylor's book. And I mean, if I don't personally love it, I don't invest that way. I'd rather just buy Bitcoin itself and Robinhood too. But I mean, it's worked out for people that believe in that. So it's interesting.
I mean, I just, as a shareholder, I would be annoyed that they're diluted. Are they getting a 0% coupon? Because then I'm less annoyed, right? But well, this is convert. Well, yeah. Well, also, what price does the debt convert at?
Yeah, I'm sure it's in the SEC filing, but
Yeah.
I don't care enough to look. But I will say I would rather invest in GameStop if you force me to, like long term, not just a trade, in GameStop than in the Bitcoin miners.
I wouldn't disagree.
But
I
give
really
me
wouldn't.
give me Robinhood all day or Coinbase even.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I would pick that over the Bitcoin miners. Okay, cool. So that's what we got in the context of Bitcoin. That one's down 7% here right now. It is what it is. If they plan on buying Bitcoin and becoming a mini MicroStrategy, then I guess that's the route they're going down. Okay, some questions. Someone said Roy are amidst arms as hairy in person as they are on stream.
Probably more so. Yeah.
Dude, did I ever tell you that? I told you guys the story a long time ago, but I was really self-conscious about my hairy arms because I had hairy arms since I was like, I don't know, in 5th grade. I don't know why my genes are like this. It is what it is. And so I came to my mom one day and I was like, because my friends in 5th grade started like, saying something about it. And I was like, Mom, can we like just shave my arms? She looked at me and she was like, stop being a bitch. Like just straight up.
Did she say that?
No, I cannot make this up, bro. She was like, she got mad at me. She was like, you're being a bitch. I was like, what's a bitch? Like, what's a and ever since that day, I stopped being self-conscious. Like my mom taught me to not be I was like, all right, you guys can talk all the shit you want. I don't care.
Yeah. And that's like a good thing. Like as you're maturing, like you guys have probably noticed there's like a little mole right there. I was so self-conscious of this that like even in like school pictures, I turned my head just at
really.
Like, yeah.
I didn't even notice that. Wow.
And honestly, like most people don't. Like a few people do. It's not a big deal. Like when I got to like 18 or 19, my parents were like, if it bothers you, we can get it removed. I'm like, at that point, I'm like, you know what? It's how it's made. It's not impacting my health. Who cares?
Yeah. I agree. So they are hairy, but if you guys ever see me in person, you'll probably see this. But
they're more so. Like I'm always confused when I'm like, why are you wearing a jacket? It's warm. And like, oh wait, that's just your arms.
It was cold in San Francisco though today.
Yeah,
it was chilly. It was chilly. Yesterday was good.
Good day to wear some Palantir swag.
There you go. Some Palantir swag. Tannor, wow. Tannor, get your ass downstairs. Everyone's waiting for you. And do the walk of shame. I love that he has to do a walk of shame right now, even though he's not drunk. Maybe he was drunk. Who knows? We don't know. We don't know what he was doing.
Just on the water.
Yeah, just on the water, bro. Side note, my little guy just walked into the room and asked where the bricks at. You came to my house, right?
Yes.
The bricks are real, right?
You said it best. I mean, I can't argue.
One day Tanner's got to come to my house and he'll see as well. All right, let's go back to Trump. Let's see if he's talking tariffs yet or not.
Thank you very much. We appreciate our and the dominant.
No. Okay. So unless he's going to take questions, that's it. I don't know why they said Trump will be speaking about tariffs at 4 p.m. That was like a Bloomberg headline. That's not unless he's doing another event or something.
So I did see some comments like, some folks are disappointed as far as the impact of the market under the Trump presidency so far. What it feels like for the United States is like similar to when a CEO of a company announces that it's a transition year. Transition year is code for the stock is going to suck for the next year.
Yeah.
But that they're hoping to build something that long term is going to be very accretive. And so, as a PayPal shareholder, I'm not super excited when I hear that. And that, of course, their transition year is extended a little bit, but that feels exactly like what's happening here with the United States.
So if you had to give me your gut feeling right now, no one's going to hold you to it because it's just off the top of your head. S&P 500 end of year. I'll do mine. I still think 6,500 we get there.
Yeah, I'm going to say 6,000.
6,000. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I seem too bullish.
So I think, I don't know. I think we're going to be probably range bound for a while, even after April 2nd. I hope Tom Lee is right that, we inflect before that point. It looked optimistic yesterday. And today you can see the market clearly cares about tariffs. I think we'll have a lot more uncertainty for a while, but some of these policies and agreements will get hammered out. And I think in the second half, that'll position ourselves for a nice rally. But we'll just kind of have to see. It's just it needs less uncertainty for the markets to really climb meaningfully. But I do think, I mean, there's a chance that we get to 6,500.
Yeah,
like
but there's a chance we stay at 5,500. I mean, there's like, I would give 50-50 more than anything.
Yeah. Well, it just really depends. Like if we get crystal clear, believable certainty by April 2nd, then yeah, we can see 6,500. I just don't know that we get that.
Yeah.
I would love to have my face ripped off. I mean,
yo, Tom Lee, he loves making this argument about a face ripping rally. I mean, theoretically, he was right about the bottom because we did bottom last week at 54.
Yeah.
90, 5490. But now we got to see if that actually results in meaningful upside. What if it goes down to 45? If we go to 45, that's below 2022.
It's painful.
I just don't see that. What, Robinhood goes back to $10, $11, like that? You would have to have such a dramatic. I mean, that would be like worse than 2022, probably worse than 2020, or at least at the same level, 30% down, 35%. It would be bad.
Yeah, the only way that I see that we get there, barring like some massive black swan, is that the tariffs really hit and it does cause a pretty massive recession, like a real recession. Like we may see 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP print, but as long as that doesn't disrupt the job markets much, like that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about GDP is sliding at the same time as job market, unemployment is like spiking.
Yeah.
That scenario, that kind of recession, yeah, we could absolutely see it. I think that's very unlikely, but it is possible. And that's one of those things where, I mean, just having that level of uncertainty in the market, it makes it tough to really climb to 6,500 while it's in the air.
Tesla, are you buying it at 270?
No.
Why?
If Tesla was the only thing that had fallen, like everything else was where it was, month and a half ago, I would be. But the hard thing is, like, I have finite resources. I'm not like a Mitt and super loaded or Tannor. But you have to pick and concentrate in your what you think is your highest opportunity. So, like, I see Nvidia as an absolute no-brainer. I allocated very heavily into Robinhood during the dip. I bought a lot of PayPal as well in that dip, and some other names, HIMS and so forth. But Tesla is one where I ended up actually selling shares a little bit after the peak, simply to round out a trade. And I thought I'd get back in by this time.
Right.
And I just haven't. So the other part of this is too, like, I think that there is some absolute credible brand damage. It's going to be.
So that was my next question. What do you think the brand damage stuff is real, or it's just BS?
It's absolutely real.
Why?
It may be overblown. But so the issue you have with Tesla is you're always going to have this with some products, especially when it's heavily politicized. And Elon Musk is that type of figure right now. Great man, great CEO. I very much appreciate what he's doing at Doge. But unlike a lot of products, like take the speaker here, nobody cares what brand of speaker you have. It's not seen as a status symbol at all.
Yeah.
Vehicles for many people are status symbols, and they are a part of your identity, especially with certain cultures and certain groups of people. And so somebody will not choose a vehicle, even if it's a superior machine, if it's giving the wrong kind of signal to other people that they respect and like to be around. So those that are on the far left, not everybody, but there's a number of folks that, like, legitimately, they will not buy a Tesla. They're selling their Tesla. They're not going to get into it. Now, there are Republicans on the other side that are interested in buying for the first time. But the reality is, I think that Republicans will buy it at a less rate than Democrats. Like, we see that in surveys. We see that with some of the buying and car registration. Now, there's other issues too. Interest rates, as they continue to fall, that's going to be a benefit to Tesla. And tariffs might be, depending on how they're employed. It's tough to say. I'd say they're probably net negative just because of the retaliatory nature, especially up in Canada. That not a big player, but it kind of shows a playbook of that. And then you kind of have to wait a little bit too for a couple of quarters for that Model Y refresh to really begin to scale out with a non-legacy model. So we'll have to see. Yes, sentiment is rough in many places. It's not just the United States. Registrations were substantially lower for EVs for Tesla.
Europe, yeah.
I think they were like the 4th highest EV seller in Europe. And that's despite, like, they've receded immensely in sales. And I believe EV sales were up like 20-something% year over year overall, just not for Tesla. there's other factors, but there is for sure some brand damage. Some will be temporary, like in a year or two, people forget and be like, okay, Tesla is absolutely a fantastic machine. I'm going to buy that. But there are some people that will just never, ever do that.
Yeah. I mean, so before we got on this market close, I just got done getting off the phone with insurance and finalizing the Tesla that I'm getting from my dad. So that's officially done. And so he will be driving a Tesla. Now, again, my dad, he doesn't give a shit about the politics stuff. I mean, he keeps up with politics, but he does not feel so closely associated to Elon or his political stuff. He just loves the car. But you're right. In a lot of parts of the world, when you do certain things, like Germany in particular, I mean, they're going to have a certain association with that. And that can hurt. But long term, I'm assuming you think brand damage is minuscule compared to FSD, robotics, etc. Or do you think it could become more of a big deal?
I mean, it could get worse, but like the reality is that the technology is there. I'm not certain. Well, so I'll break it down in a few categories. I think the EV vehicle, as far as bang for the buck, with possible exception, I've never been in any of the Chinese brands. I'm sure that they're very good. Like I hear that they're very good, but outside of that, like Tesla is the best EV bang for the buck. I don't think there's any argument for that. Like I have somebody that I know and respect that will never buy a Tesla because of Elon. But he admits, he's like, yeah, it's the best EV by far.
Yeah.
On FSD, I think that despite that LiDAR Mark Rober thing, I think it's the best technology that's out there. Regulation has to come. There has to be more proof of concept, which they're doing with the Cybercab in select cities later this year. But I think that they have a great opportunity to grab a lot of the market and that's one of those things where, like the self-driving technology, especially if other vendors, and I think, if it ends up winning this race, it's a winner take most. That's one where people can drive a Ford or whatever, still use full self-driving and not really feel like they're supporting Musk because it's not a status symbol. Optimus bots is the other one. That one's further out. I don't know that the bot itself is like the best technology, but when I think it's good, but when Elon Musk had that all hands meeting, he had a great point where he isolated all these different advantages that Tesla uniquely has as far as having them all there. But really the one that's most significant is they have the ability to manufacture at scale.
Right.
That's incredibly hard to do. Even if you have the best technology and you have the best price and everything, you will lose if you cannot manufacture at scale. And honestly, like Tesla has that advantage in spades. So I think that they'll be the winner there. There will be some people that will never, ever, ever buy an Optimus bot simply because of the brand damage, but it's an amazing product. If it does anything near where we think it will, like a lot of people will buy it. That's a silly thing. Like people ask me, is like, where's going to be the demand for that? It's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
demand is not going to be the problem. There might be other issues, but demand is not one of those.
No, I would agree. And Sawyer Merritt just posted that the expectation for deliveries in Q1 are 360K. Last year, if I'm not wrong, they did 385.
Yeah, it's down.
So that is a growth rate decline of 7%, which is not good, even with all these new Model Ys that they're selling out. Again, literally, I have to pick it up on Friday, right? So the lady was like, you have to come on Friday to pick it up. So even with them pressuring to put all these cars out, will that actually lead to year-over-year growth? Now, Elon last year said 20% growth year-over-year. Well, if we don't get that, which is like, what, 2.2 million vehicles, something like that?
I don't know that they'll get there. I do think that we'll see growth both by falling interest rates and that Model Y refresh. Like it is an awesome product. On Q1, you have a couple of issues. So one is you're hitting that refresh for Model Y. You are selling models, at a great discount, but you did a lot of promotions. So they did a lot of promotions at the end of the year to really drive as a demand lever forward some people that would have bought perhaps in Q1 to Q4. And so you also have that. So and then of course the brand damage stuff. So Q1, but even without that, Q1 would have been in a tough spot year over year, I think. But as we get later in the year, rate cuts, refreshes rolled out in mass production. I think they'll be fine.
Oh, here's another good comment. Trump hasn't taken away the $7,500 credit.
Yeah.
If they do,
oh yeah.
I would do it. My dad was not going to buy this car if we had to pay an extra 75. You're get the fuck out of here. There's no way. Like we like Teslas, but not that much.
Yeah, I think the earliest that gets taken away, if it gets taken away, is going to be in October, simply because that's the beginning of the federal fiscal year. I think that'll go through Congress. It's supposed to go through Congress, so that according to the Constitution. But we'll have to see. I don't think, but more likely than not, just because it's easier on consumers, I think that the most realistic time, if it gets taken away, is January 1st next year.
Yeah.
So what that could do, like temporarily, is really drive a lot of demand where people are like, maybe I'll buy a car in 2026. If they're thinking about Tesla at all, they'll be like, okay, 2025 is it. I will buy it.
I agree. We didn't hear about the Optimus demo today on Capitol Hill. That was supposed to be happening today. I didn't see any headlines on that. So, I mean, again, another thing that just like didn't play out, but did not see anything there. Oh no, we did see some. Okay, so this didn't make, I'm surprised I didn't see these pictures, but here's here's some pictures. Give it a sec. It froze. Okay, let me close out some tabs. Let's close these out. Okay, we should be back. We might have froze for a second. We should be back. But yeah, here's some pictures from some people. Here's a video.
He's got some cool shoes on.
Okay, so this looks like it was a nothing burger, guys. This was like we were supposed to see something actually like it was the robot is just like in the corner, I guess. I guess I thought there was actually gonna be something. I thought like Elon might be there or something. 2 Optimus robots are on display at Capitol Hill. They're both in autonomous mode, showing off some moves. Yeah, no one gives a shit about this. This is not going to get the street to get any excited about Optimus. Not at all. So it's cool, I guess, but nothing crazy for the street today.
Yeah, when the street actually sees Optimus like doing things that are useful in mass, not just like in a very controlled, specific way. I know Tesla's using it internally. That's when I think they'll really get the idea. Okay, this is something. This is exciting.
Yeah. All right, cool. So that's what we got on Optimus. I just heard some knocking. All right, we all have to make fun of Tannor. We all have to. Hey there, buddy. What's up, man?
Here, you can get close.
There's some people here that have been,
honestly, if you think about it, this is pretty early. Like, no, sorry. Okay, what do you want me to say?
Wait, did you take a nap? That's what you fell asleep?
Yeah, I fell
okay,
asleep.
you were feeling a little sick, right? So
yeah, no, I mean,
so it is what it is. It happens,
I just didn't sleep.
I'm just so happy this happened, so that Roy and I have been vindicated of what we've been saying for a long time, which is that
it's not a good look.
He's late. He's late. No, you were sleepy. You have an excuse, and also you were a little sick, so everyone forgives that. I'm just happy it happened this way because Roy and I are vindicated now.
Like live, you mean?
Yeah, just live. It has to happen.
Yeah. Not many excuses, my bad. But if you guys book me for birthdays, bar mitzvahs, or whatever, I'll be on time. I promise. So teach your kids about investing or whatever.
Yes.
All right. So I've been asking Roy a bunch of questions for the past hour. I'm sure people want to know your thoughts about what's going on. First of all, and guys, if you have any questions, leave them in the chat. San Francisco, first impressions.
I mean, literally, the first impression is Waymo. Waymo's everywhere, like way too many Waymos. That's been the thing that stuck out the most, but I do like it. It's very tech focused, more venture capital for sure. I'd like to come here more often. I think it's fun.
What do you think about like the vibes of this was breakfast this morning, the vibes of technology and startups and all this? Like,
I mean, it's exactly where I like to be, like, honestly. So that part's a lot of fun, but I mean, I don't know. So it's the first time I've been to California. I thought it was going to be like other major cities, but it's not at all. It's very different than New York. Or
how? Well, you did call New York a shithole, so
no,
you did. So
no,
you did. So for all the New Yorkers,
New York smells bad.
That is true.
New York smells bad.
But you would rather live in SF than New York.
Yeah.
See, I don't agree with that. What about you, Roy? You'd rather live in New York or SF?
Out of those two, San Francisco.
I'm the only New Yorker.
But it's not like Toronto smells any good anyway. But SF smells good. Like I think, like you said, it's like by the water, so I think it's doing some benefits.
Okay, so let's talk about. Well, let me ask this question. Let me get a little bit more meta philosophical. Did you ever think you would be at a event as an influencer for a public company to make content around their new products that you're also invested in? Like, did you ever think life would end up like this?
Never. No, this is I'm living my dream. But no, I never.
And that's why you were sleeping, right? Because you were dreaming.
Okay.
That was good. That was fucking good, bro. That was good. I need some credit in the chat for that. That was good. That was good.
I'll be honest. They're way worse in person than they're definitely not as good whenever you're here. But it is, you know, a dream doing this. It's wild that, you know, we're able to just talk and cover stuff online, and that people value those opinions. But you know, events like this, like Robinhood flying us out and everything, and like being able to, you know, show this event and everything, it's mind blowing. It's very cool getting hands-on access with, you know, people behind the scenes. Like, there's no better way to experience a company than being able to talk to the employees and all this stuff, like seeing the culture. I think that so many more businesses should do this, because like I would understand SoFi much better, Robinhood much better, you know, Salesforce or Nvidia, these positions, if I was able to have this type of access to be able to talk. And it's not just like quote unquote influencers or media, they're just like inviting out their customers and retail, and like I think that's really impactful. So
Roy, same question to you.
Yeah, I think it's a great thing for companies. I think it's a great win for retail. It's not. So I never saw myself doing this at all. It's still for me like part-time hobby. I have my dream job. I love this. It's not my dream job. I would never quit my dream job for this. But it's so enjoyable. I love doing it. It's a passion. I think the first time I ever showed even my face on the camera is like calling you in when you were doing answering or interacting.
Yeah.
So you were excited. You're like, oh, he's gonna show his face. This is great.
I was like, who is Crossroads?
And I was real nervous and everything. And
then you had this like, beautiful voice, and I'm like, oh, this guy's like, he's gonna be a content creator one day. Like,
but that was like one thing. But like going to this, like, it's just like it still doesn't feel real, but it is awesome. It's quite the experience, and just having that level of hands-on interaction with like the culture, with the leadership. With the products and everything that they're rolling out, like in person. There's a lot of companies that are going that direction, like even not related to Robinhood. Like you saw Palantir, Shift4, PayPal. There was, an offer to go out to Investor Day. I wasn't able to make it. It's certainly Robinhood, HIMS, you can see them kind of stepping up in that direction too. And I think we're going to see that more and more as well, in that extra level of transparency and openness, especially towards retail. It really benefits all of us. Like, this is a win for all of us, not just for us 3 content creators.
Yeah, I think that's the cool thing, dude. I think these companies are realizing they need to interact with their investor base. Their investor base tends to be consumers, because they're Robinhood in particular is a B2C company. Even Palantir, that's not a B2C company. They know a lot of individual people care about their products. And so I think this is the future, dude. More and more companies are going to realize, hey, we need these individual media entities over CNBC and Bloomberg to also cover these events. And however they can accommodate that and make that possible, I think it'll keep happening. What are you expecting from the event tonight? Like, do you think we're going to get some cool products? Or
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm still hoping for some sort of investor portfolio type thing, having multiple accounts. So you can have like a dividend account or growth investing account. I think that would be really interesting. Hopefully some stable coin products, or they still haven't announced anything on their AI side.
Yeah, that's the big thing for me.
Yeah, there's a couple things there that I'm really excited for. But who knows? Robinhood always seems to put out way more stuff than, we are potentially anticipating. So
yeah, if you remember that last Robinhood Gold event that they had a year ago, it wasn't just about Robinhood Gold. It was like showing off, like, hey, we got this new user interface as a preview to Robinhood Legend. And so I think we're going to get some new products. I think we're going to get some previews of products that are coming out. And like, everything that Robinhood does, whether I'm like, this is a great product for me, or I'm like, I'm not going to really use that. Like the user interface, your user experience is just impeccable. They have such ridiculous talent when it comes to engineering and shipping products. Like they're unparalleled in fintech. They just are.
I want to ask them about event contracts. That's what I really want to.
Well, what question would you ask? Like, what details would you want?
Well, I want to know, some of their opinions on the subpoena, on if it's, what's the total addressable market that they see for these types of products? What's upcoming? Like, right now it's college basketball. Are you going to build out the sports section much more, or do you want more financial services tools? Because that's the stuff that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
The Fed funds rate tools, CPI betting, like those types of things I think would be really interesting rather than just college basketball. But where do they see it?
Yeah. I would agree. And again, we have no idea what they're going to introduce, but I think they're going to just try to push the envelope in terms of how much they've been shipping. And then they have another event in France, which they said publicly in the summer. So from that angle, like this might be a cool event, but that one might be
right
the big event.
Right, which we expect that's going to be Robinhood Crypto's or Robinhood's crypto event.
Right.
So
Their first crypto event.
Yeah, I don't expect much of anything for crypto because they're going to hold all that back for then. But even then, like we have to think about Robinhood, like whenever or at least whenever I'm investing in this company, you're going and investing in this business and thinking about all the innovation that they're putting out this year. But there's been an expectation that they've set that all of these events are going to happen
every year.
next year.
Yeah,
and then the year after that, where they push out not one, but multiple key products. How can they hold that level of growth up? And they've been doing it, like for 10 plus years. So I'm just really excited, not just for now, but for what's to come, things that we can't even anticipate.
I agree. We got about 20 minutes left. So if anyone has any questions about markets, life, anything, feel free to leave them in the chat and we'll answer them. We do get a lot of these questions about Waymo. So we're about to try it in like 20 minutes when we go to the Uber headquarters. Are you excited for that?
So you said that already?
Yeah, I told them. Yeah, they know.
Okay, I think it's a little bit ridiculous that we're taking a Waymo to Uber's headquarters. We didn't even realize. Yeah, can we get a lift? And then we're getting lifted to Uber's headquarters. So maybe at a different city that would be okay. But I just thought for SF that's a little weird. But
9:30 is the event for those that are asking. It's live on their YouTube, so we don't have to live stream it. It'll be live on YouTube, so you can watch.
EST, yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited for Waymo. I'm curious to see what it feels like to be in that car.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I cannot believe the amount of Waymos that are here, though.
It's a lot, bro.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Many.
Like it's a lot.
I saw a report come out and said that it was like over 20% market share for SF, and now I'm like, oh yeah, definitely.
Might be higher.
Yeah, it might be higher. And now they just expanded it out another 27 miles in SF. So now I think it actually hits Palo Alto and a couple of other areas. I bet it's a very high number and growing.
Will all three of you be sitting in the back seat? That's a good. Who wants shotgun?
I'll do shotgun.
Okay, all right. So it'll be
whoever's
me and Roy.
paying, right?
Whoever's paying, yeah. Amit, can you get Tannor to rip some tequila?
I'll have a drink.
Tannor will get drunk tonight. I don't think we're gonna drink that much. We'll have like
I don't drink. So
yeah,
I'll have a nice soda. Shirley Temple if they have it.
I'll have a few mocktails. I'll be buzzed for the night, so I'll be
yeah.
I'll be good.
You got to get a Shirley Temple. It's the manliest drink.
It really is. It's good, bro. People are sleeping. If you've never had a Shirley Temple in the chat, I encourage you. Next time you're at an open bar, ask for a Shirley. It's gonna be the best experience of your life.
Don't order too many. You'll get buzzed.
Don't order too many. What's the story on how you guys started collaborating on YouTube?
I reached out to Amit, at least for me and Amit.
I actually remember the day you reached out to me.
I don't remember the day.
But we literally talked about SoFi for 30 minutes and then we scheduled a podcast. I'm like,
yeah,
it started. Right?
I was like, Amit, I really want to pitch you on this company.
Yeah.
Like you're doing all this stuff on Palantir, but like there might be some interesting opportunities on a company called SoFi. And then you're like, all right, I'll hear you out. And then I remember like the first time I was using an iPad.
Yes, I remember this, bro. I remember this. And it was supposed to be like a 10-minute discussion. And I kept asking you more questions. It turns like a 40-minute conversation. So that was how we met. And then we just kept talking. And then Roy came on my stream once just saying, hey, what's up? I've been watching you for a while. And then you started creating content around PayPal a year and a half ago.
Yeah, not just PayPal, but like so I started, on a lot of different things, but I think PayPal was what really took off at the time, just because there wasn't a lot of content on it other than just like people posting screenshots of the ticker. And Amit, and I had some conversations, but you were super helpful when it was like time to try to get started. Like you gave me encouragement. Carlos, shout out to him, Sphere Cubed. He was another guy that gave me a push, and he said, hey, you're already doing this. You're already doing the research. Why not just put it out there and see if other people find your content valuable? And I'm like, okay.
And then it exploded.
Oh yeah. And then you said, hey, this is working for you. Do this. And like with YouTube, like it's been very new for me on YouTube. But Tannor, Tevis, Amit, you guys have all really helped as far as like, okay, your thumbnails are garbage. You need to fix that. Or your sound is terrible. Your lighting, mostly, like if you look at those early videos, they were terrible. Now they're like, okay, there's a lot of room for improvement. But I've learned a lot from you guys. So I've loved getting connected with you.
I think it's more fun doing this all together. Like, and I think there's a lot of room for everyone to grow. It's a collaborative space. Like, it's more fun being at these events with friends. It would suck if I was here alone. I think it would suck for you guys. It's just like, it would be cool to like see the event, but it's like,
it'd be okay.
Yeah.
That would elevate it from like maybe a 6 out of 10 to like 10 out of 10 with friends. So
yeah, 100%.
It sounds cheesy, but actually it's been a blast.
Yeah, we stayed up last night for like an hour. We were talking about a bunch of different subjects, life, all that good stuff. And I think like when you get to know people on a more personal level, it like actually deepens the friendship there. Are we wearing gold suits to the event? Tannor, why don't you answer that question?
I'm wearing a hoodie. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm me, baby. I'm just gonna wear whatever I bought. Like friggin'
we went to H&M. I bought a little bit of an outfit, a little gold blazer. I was like, let me dress up a little bit. Tanner's wearing his hoodie. I don't care. I think it'll look fine.
It's not this.
I just think it's gonna be a little bit more than hoodie. I think it's gonna be more semi-formal than hoodie. So
I am wearing a gold suit, so I'll take a picture, guys.
Yeah. Imagine everyone shows up there in like jeans and hoodies. Like then we're gonna be overdressed, but
you can't really be over. Yeah.
You can always take off the tie or whatever. It's no big deal. So
you can't really be overdressed.
Yeah.
When did you guys first start hanging out in person? So the first time was in the Robinhood event, Investor Day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the first time. So 4 months ago.
Yeah, Tannor and I saw each other in person at the Miami Summit, the Robinhood event.
Yeah,
that was a lot of fun.
And
hopefully other companies should do investor days. And I don't know. SoFi perhaps.
Is this your first time in SF, Tannor?
Yes. First time in California. Fun. Different. There's a couple of characters on, in the area, but
on the streets.
Yeah.
Hymns. Are you in hymns?
No.
Okay.
Well, okay. I've got $100 of hymns.
You're welcome. You're welcome. More than $100, sir.
At one point, yeah, but it's come down.
It's still more than 100. It's up like 30-something% year to date. Hymns is, I think, my 4th largest position. I'd have to look again. It's a little bit under 10% for me. I think the company is positioned very, very well, but it is an insane volatile stock that makes like Bitcoin, makes Palantir look just tame.
Like nothing.
So, and volatility is not for everybody. There are some legit bear cases, but I mean, like the craziest thing to me is it's shorted again nearly 30%, and we just had a short squeeze. That's the reason why there was a spike. Underlying catalyst led to that, certainly, but it's like, dude, it's profitable even without the GLP-1 revenue that's drying up largely by May. A lot of new products, a lot of tailwinds. That is a headwind, but it's not. That's never been a part of the long-term bull thesis at all. So, I love what the company's doing. Really like the CEO. Don't have to agree with everything that he's doing, but yeah.
Okay, so this was a good question that someone asked. They said, sorry. This guy, bro. It's like this.
What's he doing? Like, move your mouse.
All of you, which stock would you invest in today that you aren't already invested in? You guys can answer in the chat as well. This is a good one.
Well, If it's one that I got out recently, I'd say InPhase.
It's brand new
But
stock.
brand new. I mean, maybe Google. Just another large cap tech exposure, which is weird for me because I was very bearish a year and a half ago. I feel like that they've improved leadership and culture a little bit. Like Waymo, they're tied into there. I think they're killing it with Gemini, honestly. And they're very well positioned to have that commodity really scale and benefit from it. Search isn't really going away. If it is, it's not fast at all. I mean, and they're cheap. They're relatively safe. I would be very happy like owning some and just kind of forgetting that I own it for 5 years. Amazon, same thing. But I think I pick Google over Amazon right now.
You don't own Amazon?
No.
Yeah, mine's another boring answer. Meta probably was the first one that came to mind. I do own Amazon, Google, Nvidia for sure, but Meta has been one that I've never really taken too deep of a look at, but they've obviously executed a ton.
Okay, I was gonna pick Meta, but I'm gonna be different, and I'm gonna say actually this is an easy one, even though it's a little expensive. I'll say CrowdStrike because I don't have any more CrowdStrike, but sure,
Yeah.
I did a while ago when they tanked.
What were your thoughts on Wiz?
I thought it was a great deal. I think GCP is going to be able to up the offering on their cloud services. $32 billion. It feels cheap given their growth, but if the growth slows down, then yeah, they overpaid. But I think the FTC will allow it because they need to.
I think they're definitely going to allow it. They're not an exclusive deal.
Yeah,
they can work all multi-cloud. They're not changing to Google cybersecurity or something. They're going to stay Wiz.
What do you guys think about Rocket Lab?
Honestly, like when I saw the Rocket Lab come out, I'm like, I might change my answer and say Rocket Lab. Short term, like I think it's expensive right now, but I don't think it's really that speculative long term. Like it's a really, really tough moat. They have excellent products. They have excellent and competent leadership with Sir Peter Beck. I think long term that's a very, very good. But I don't think, even in spite of that, like I don't think Robinhood, Rocket Lab is going to do like what they did last year. Like you can't expect that year in and year out. There will be a couple of years like that, but man, I'm going to change my answer and just say Rocket Lab instead of Google.
Okay, Tannor, do you like Rocket Lab?
Yeah, I'm not going to change my answer. I don't have many thoughts about Rocket Lab. The last time that I checked them, they look to have been going through cash pretty aggressively. And it worries me about companies that are really early on in those stages where they are using their investors' money to fund their projects.
Not a fan, basically.
Yeah, well, it's too early for me I haven't done enough research in the company to want to take that risk.
Yeah, their cash runway is absolutely fine. They'll be profitable relatively soon. Neutron will help with that too. And then they're also helped. I don't love this, but like they're helped just by some of the brand damage towards SpaceX and Elon Musk. They don't do exactly the same thing, but there are some tailwinds with that. And it's basically a duopoly. I know Blue Origin and there's other players out there that exist too, but I really see, SpaceX is number one here. Rocket Lab is a clear number two. And after that, there's a bunch of tertiary players.
I was listening to the All In podcast, and Chamath was talking about his picks for space, and or he said it wasn't a duopoly. I forget how many companies he named, but Rocket Lab wasn't even on the list.
Well, this is the same guy who took Virgin Galactic public, so do we trust his opinion on space?
I don't think his that was on the list either. But
no.
Yeah.
Okay, so with Tannor, we didn't get your thoughts on this volatility today. I mean, do you even care, or it's just whatever?
Yeah, I mean, I slept through it pretty well, so no, I'm a long-term holder. I mean, the volatility didn't bother me in the slightest. I mean,
well, you were sleeping, you didn't experience any of it.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I think for Amit following it much closer on the actual price action than myself, it probably affects
your mental health.
Yeah, your mental health a little bit more, but no, I'm good, man. I actually think the bullish outcome for Nvidia is seeming more and more positive, and yet people are thinking the opposite, and I think that's dumb.
Do you feel better when oh, Vlad just tweeted, we gotta show this. Do you feel better when stocks go up, both of you? Like, do you feel just like good throughout the day?
Yeah, I'll admit it.
Yeah,
like I feel like I'm on cloud 9 when we're up 5-6%, dude. I'm like,
I do, but then like if it's multiple days in a row and it's like massive amounts of money, like big moves, I don't want to say I get nervous, but it makes me a little uneasy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fair.
I start to, get really energetic and excited whenever stocks go up, and then whenever they go down, I'm like a stoic, like, these are the waves of life, and I just take it on the chest. But whenever it's going up, I mean, we celebrate.
I think once or twice a year, it'll get to me if it just persistent red, down, and like, oh, I messed up by not hedging, taking gains, whatever. And it's those moments where I'm not changing anything to do except I look a lot less. I'll be like, I'm going to take a couple days where I'll still interact on Twitter and stuff, but I'm not going to look at my portfolio at all. I think that's healthy.
Yeah. Martin says, hey, Amit, I just watched episode 1 of season 2 of Severance. You better stay on the West Coast. Worst suggestion ever. Have you guys seen Severance?
No.
I saw season 1.
Did you like it? Like, actually like it?
It was okay. Apple TV has some really good stuff. That was not one of my favorite, but it was all right. It was well done, but I can't say I enjoyed it entirely.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was good. I speed watched it, but I haven't seen season 2 yet. Okay, Vlad just tweeted this. So have you guys put a 1 in the chat if you understand what this picture represents? Have you guys seen the meme?
Yeah,
I love it. Yeah,
you've seen it, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So do you want to explain it? How would you even go to explain what this even means?
Bro,
morning routine.
Yeah.
No, but for a person who has no, like, they see Vlad tweet bananas, water, and ice. They're like, what the fuck? Like, what does this mean?
I mean, I don't know. The tweet got like 800 million views or something. So, but yeah, like people need to be motivated. Men need personal tips. I forget what the actual account is.
Oh, I gotta find it, dude. We gotta see the video.
If you just type in morning routine, you'll find it's the first thing.
It has 680 million views. Is this it?
That's not the original.
Dude, there's been so many parodies. Okay, so this has 743 million views. So a lot of people have seen it. We're just gonna let it play, and then you guys will understand why Vlad posted that, and everyone else is copying it as well. All right, here we go. Guy who makes videos showing his super optimized morning routine, working out, cold water, face rituals or whatever, bananas on the face, whatever that means. And so everyone is memed, like when you're getting ready for something, you put the water, Saratoga water, which, by the way, their sales have gone crazy. Yeah, if you look at Google searches.
Free ads.
I didn't even know this thing. Maybe he got paid for it. Who knows? But like Saratoga is blowing up, and the bananas in the water, and now it's a meme.
Bullish bananas, bullish ice. The only brand there is actually Saratoga. So they're going to do great. But I swear to God, that dude's going to be on Mr. Beast's next video. Like he'll
he has 9 million followers now.
What was it before?
I think it was like 6 million or something, 7 million.
Yeah. So
he's been doing these videos for a while, but that one really took off. Sometimes you never know which video takes off.
People weren't sharing it for good reasons, though.
What do you mean?
They're hating on the dude. Like they're clowning him, rubbing a banana all over his face. Like there was another video I saw, and this girl cuts up like an entire fruit salad, and then they throw it in a bowl, and he shoves his face in it. He doesn't even eat it. He's dunking his face in a fruit salad water. Like, but I don't know.
But see, Robinhood tapping into this right now means they understand culture.
Oh yeah,
Vlad like that's the cool part. Or someone, if Vlad doesn't know, someone told on the team, hey, Vlad, post this because it's culture, you know.
I'm really curious, unrelated to this, like if he's like really into Egyptology and like ancient culture stuff. Like
he's been posting a lot about that. Yeah,
I don't know, man. He's a polymath. He really is.
I think it just fits the event. I think they'll have a different theme every time. I'm excited to see the crypto event, and I don't know. But their marketing, man, they are 10 out of 10 on marketing. Yeah. Like I wish other companies had this ability to sell hype on their products, and it's very interesting for a financial services company.
Why do you think they're calling it the Lost City of Gold? Do you have any? Yeah, what's your logic behind this?
I mean, so there's always been a myth, an idea going back really to the idea of the Fountain of Youth in El Dorado. So when the New World was discovered, the Spanish conquistadors had this myth and idea that in this new world, they would actually find the Fountain of Youth, the Garden of Eden, and these 7 cities of gold called El Dorado. And so a lot of the places where they went, that's what they were seeking. They weren't like exploring and looking for new trade deals. They were looking for gold very specifically. And in some places they found it, but largely, and that was partly tipped off just because of where Columbus was. Like they found some gold initially. And of course, the Aztecs had quite a bit right there. And so they just figured, hey, there's going to be some lost undiscovered cities. So you have that with the voyages like Cabeza de Vaca's account, certainly. And of course, I can't remember the name of them. Starts with a P, that they went over to Peru, the Incan Empire as well, where they conquered that. Is largely about gold, silver, plunder, and always looking for something that was lost. Now, it wasn't all done by conquest. There was a lot of exploration as well. But they were always looking for that thing that was hidden that must be out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Where is El Dorado? It's in California, right?
It doesn't exist.
Oh.
There have been places that have been named that, but it's kind of like, where's the Garden of Eden? It's like
Gotcha.
physical location.
Gotcha.
Fountain of Youth, same thing.
Can we talk some SoFi?
We got
No.
3. I mean, we can
Okay.
say another.
Okay,
10
no,
minutes.
no,
No, let's talk some SoFi. When's this thing going up, bro? When are we going to 20?
No, I was just going to say about this, all the Doge efficiency that might happen for the IRS and everything. There's been a lot of Anthony Noto tweets going out saying that SoFi wants to help. And there is billions of dollars to go around to modernize the technology stack for the government in these parts. And this is not the first time that SoFi would even be dealing with the government. They landed a large contract with the Department of Treasury. So they're helping out with 2.5 million members get social benefits through there.
Recent.
Very recently, like in the past probably 3 or 4 months. And now Anthony Noto continues to post. If you can go back, there's another more exciting one.
I can't find that one. Where
it must have been recently. Here, keep going.
The country music one.
Is it?
It might be under something.
Yeah, just keep.
Did DDI retweet it? Maybe we could find it.
Yeah, or I liked it. Oh no, you can't see likes anymore, eh?
I can't say. Oh, there's the A. There's the first A of the day.
First day of the day.
First A of the day.
Yeah, well, I guess we can't find it. Oh, well, I guess we're going to have to watch Tanner's video to find out more. Because I've got all the tweets on lock.
Oh, where the hell is this tweet, bro? Oh, my God.
Why are you in light mode, not dark mode?
Dude, everyone makes fun of me for that. I don't know. But my phone has dark mode. Regardless, you think Doge, you think it's a Palantir thing? They could get a deal with Doge, you think?
Yes.
SoFi?
Yeah, SoFi's the next Palantir. That's what I said. No, I'm kidding. But they are pushing very hard into this, and that's exciting.
I mean, if they get a Doge deal, bro, that would be kind of crazy. Oh, here, I found it.
There you go.
See, dude,
It was a reply.
Yeah, it was a reply. That's why. Howard Lending, we can be your one-stop shop for all financial service needs, all treasury payments, all social benefit payments, digital wallets, and a SoFi stablecoin backed one-to-one by US dollars with interest and much more. He's tweeting at Lutnick. So
there you go. And you know what happens whenever you get close to Lutnick? He'll tell you to buy SoFi stock. So that's very good news for SoFi investors.
Yeah, the context there is Lutnick went on live TV and said buy Tesla stock, which is, I don't know how we're living in this timeline where he can get away with saying that, but yeah.
Yeah, and we're Tesla shareholders, so that should tell you something.
Yeah, it is a new America right now. Okay, I think that's it, right?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you everyone for joining. We will. I'll still be back for the market open tomorrow, so we'll still have the market open. We will have tons of tweets tonight on what Robinhood says. 9:30 Eastern. The event will start 6:30 Pacific. I'll put everyone's Twitters right here in the chat. But yeah, we'll be live tweeting it. I think it'll be exciting. No clue what they're going to say, but hopefully it's some really interesting products.
I'll do my best to tweet it.
Yeah, we're trying to get what's his name, Tannor.
What's his name?
To tweet more. I think of you. I was about to say future investing because I was looking at the page. We're trying to get Tannor to tweet more. You guys need to like peer pressure him to tweet more because he has 20,000 followers And he's like never tweeting. And I'm like, dude, 20,000 people followed you to like hear your thoughts. And he doesn't tweet. So
Just not as often as Amit. But yeah.
yeah, you should talk about like your, like your personal life,
Dude, I went
like
to
your dog or something.
Roy and I went to the gym. This dude's a monster. I didn't realize that he like avidly lifts weights. So that was a lot of fun to I thought I was taking the old man to the gym. The old man took me. And
Dude, Tanner is jacked, bro.
Tanner
He's
stronger than I am.
Tanner's one of those guys. He used to be like a bodybuilder or something, right?
dude.
He used to compete in the bodybuilding.
No, dude, no. This is a misclassification of my character. But I have gymmed. But I'm not an ex-bodybuilder. Let's not blow this out of proportion.
Yeah, but he's in that world. So
And he wasn't even late to going to the gym. So I mean that tells you something.
I was on time.
Happens every once in a while.
all right, cool, good stuff. Thank you everybody as always for being here. Deeply appreciate you guys taking the time out of your busy lives to get some content from us, and we would not be in this position without people actually caring about what we have to say and putting that out there into the world. So deeply appreciate it. It means the world for us, allows us to do these types of things and hopefully give you guys some good behind the scenes footage on these events. And yeah, Robinhood, look, I know a lot of you guys are invested in it largely because of all three of ours analysis. I think the company is headed in the right direction over the long term. Short-term event, maybe the stock drops 5% tomorrow, maybe it doesn't. But whatever they introduce today, the bold thesis is that this will become one of the most important financial institutions on the planet. And I think what they will introduce today hopefully gets them closer to that goal. And if it does, then it will be a successful event, in my opinion.
Well said.
Cool. All right. We're out. We're going to go see Uber's headquarters and Waymo to Uber. And we will let you guys know how the Waymo experience went. All right. Bye, everybody. Appreciate you guys. Later.
Bye.